Sparking Change with Gigi, a show that aims to make the world a better place by bringing together authentic minds. This show encourages each of us to be the change we wish to see in the world. Get ready to be inspired and join us on this journey to create a brighter future for all.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to Sparking Change with Gigi. I'm your host, Giovanna Tartarone, and today we're going to be talking about one of my favorite topics, and it is faith and beliefs shaping our life's journey, right? I truly believe that faith, and we study this every day, faith is the starting point of all riches. What do we mean by that? The accumulation of all riches. If you don't have faith in yourself, and it is a state of mind, so you must incorporate belief and believe that you can achieve anything you want in your life journey in order to achieve greatness. So today's guest, I'm so honored to bring back my wonderful guest, Pablo Sanchez, on board. Hello, Pablo. Welcome.
Well, it's a pleasure to be here again. Thank you very much, Gigi.
I'm so glad that you've accepted the invitation to come on, because I know you have a passion for this topic as well. And let's just go right into it. I know that without faith in us and believing that we can achieve things in life, with God being our partner in everything we do, we struggle if we don't incorporate faith in God in our daily lives. So let's talk about that today.
Well, if I may, I'm just going to talk a little about what it is that I'm doing. I am currently doing a daily devotional in Spanish. What I do is I do Joel Osteen in Spanish, and I have a channel dedicated to that. And I start off by saying, Joel Osteen is my mentor, and he doesn't even know it. So because of that, he's my secret mentor. And it is a great thing. I have followed Joel Osteen because I found myself with lack of faith. Really down and out, and I was looking for to have something to believe in, and he did give me that. And what I have learned from Pastor Olsen is that before we can have faith, we need to go through a whole cleansing process for ourselves. Because faith is we're going to talk a little bit more about the actual meaning of it, but what he says is that we need to actually forgive ourselves, forgive other people. There's a whole forgiveness process that might be holding us back from seeing our true faith and being able to manifest what we want. When we talk about faith, we talk about manifesting our desires,
right.
and when right now a lot of people have given up on faith because they have been wanting the same thing for the past 20 years. Nothing has happened, and here it is. Somebody else is waiting for the right person to come along, and that person hasn't arrived, and everything else. And what happens is similar to myself. I'm the perfect example for this. Before I remarried, I was I had a vision. A lady came to me and she said to me, Pablo, the lady that you're waiting for, she's kneeling down waiting for you, but she's not ready for you. So it says that God says that you're supposed to just have faith and be patient as she will come. Lo and behold, the day came. I was patient. Then when I saw her, I knew it was her. I knew it was her. I believe, I have not counted days, but I think I married her 40 days since the day that we met. And
Wow.
she's my partner. We're here 24/7, and we do everything together. And I can see myself being without her. So that's one way, manifesting this thing, talking about faith. But even before that happens, I began to mention about Pastor Joel Osteen. What he says is that you need to first go through forgiving. He reminded me that the last words that Jesus Christ said when he was on the cross, his very last words is, God, Father, please forgive them. And you will find that when you do that, whether it is that you have to forgive or you have to ask for forgiveness,
Mhm.
you will find that this whole weight that you have had on your shoulders is all of a sudden gone.
I
And
truly believe in that.
when that weight is gone, what happens is you're able to manifest. It's like, okay, now you have your VIP pass right here. Hey, God has forgiven me. All right, here I am. This is my VIP pass. I can actually manifest what I want. I use the word manifest is because we talk about faith, right? Faith is really it's really wishing for your desires, whatever that desire might be, and then the different ways of faith. But what it says is really, faith is really thanking God before you actually receive it. That's
I
real.
love that. I love that. And it just brings to mind that when you start to forgive yourself and others, you open up your heart to receive, because your heart is blocked from the emotional impact that you've had from those events. So putting yourself in a space where you just forgive yourself and others, you're opening yourself to just receive the blessings, because that is what's truly holding us back to achieving our desires.
Completely
Amen.
correct. And what happens is, if you have the blockage, let's call that, right? You have not gone through the whole forgiveness process. What happens is something that is supposed to take you half an hour is probably it taking you 4 or 5 hours to do.
Yes, yes.
And it is really because you have that thing in back of your mind, and it could be just more than one thing that's in back of your mind that you really know need to go through that process. So what I say is you need to go through that process before you actually. Because I'm saying you have faith. You have faith. We know you have faith, but we're all tired of saying, but I have faith. I've been wanting the same thing for the past 20 years. I have not seen it. Here I am. I'm still single. Here I am. And, I'm still making the same money I was making last year, and nothing has changed. So, what I'm saying is, first we need to go through the whole forgiving process, and then we can actually talk about faith and how we can stimulate our faith to make those desires a reality in our lives. That's
Right. And those desires that we have are really based on believing that we can have it, right? Believing. And if we're not believing, then we have doubts. And when we have doubts, then something is creating the doubt, right? It's our self image. It's, are we feeling worthy to receive it? And we're going back to, what is the inner work that needs to be done in order to open up to receive those desires? Because what did we say? Desires are marching orders from God, right? Like your desires are meant for you, because if it wasn't meant for you, you would never have it. Like, I know I have no desire of being a fireman, like, or a firewoman. Like, it's never going to come into my mind that I want to drive a fire truck, but it is in my mind to go out there and help people and help them to see their true potential. So all these ideas come to mind, is like, how can I reach more people? What are some ideas that will open the doors for me? So that desire, to me, I see it as a marching order from God. And I've done my work to forgive everything and everyone in my life, and I'll just share a quick story. I came here from Italy, and my dad, with three girls, he made sure that we didn't go out. We had to stay home when we came here from Italy, and he was very strict. I think the only movie that we saw was Jaws. If you remember the movie Jaws, that was the only movie that we saw. So there was some resentment that I had against my dad for not letting us go out and enjoy ourselves as young girls. I look back and I go, thank God. I think I'd rather have that. But I didn't need to forgive him for that. That had to be forgiven because I held that against him all my life. Like, we never had a childhood and had fun with friends. We never had friends when we came here from Italy. Our sisters, 3 of us were friends, and that was it. That was the friends. I remember one time we said to my dad, "Can you take us to the zoo?" He's like, "Zoo?" He's like, "I have a zoo right here." And he was talking about his kids, right? But again, that was emotional for me as a young girl. And I needed to go through that cleansing in order to receive all the greatness that's coming into my life now. So I totally agree with you about cleansing.
Yeah. Well, now, what I say is that whenever you have a desire, and that desire has already been created. Okay, God put that desire in your heart, because when you say you're marching orders from God, that you're completely correct. You're completely correct. Now, the desire is one thing. Now, when you start visualizing it as into a reality, that's really God telling you how to do it. It is so amazing. It is so amazing. But the thing is that a lot of us, we have not gone through the forgiveness process yet. That
Mm-hmm.
this whole thing is blocked. This is all new to us. But what I say to you is that, hey, you have tried everything and you're still in the same place. Try something new. We're here now to teach you something new, how to help you with your whole cleansing process, how we can reinforce that faith that you have. That's it. That's really what I want to get into. And I really want to talk about your desires, the fact that God put that desire on you, and you have the right to claim and ask God. You put that desire in my heart. Now I'm asking you to make it a reality. And you can find verses in the Bible that you can say, you told me that you're going to give this to me, and God will, and He tells you that He's going to guide you through it. He's going to send people, the right people in your path, to make that desired reality. Hey, let's just talk about a little bit about I make fun of Thomas Edison. Thomas Edison was hard of hearing. He'd never finished high school, and then he decided that he wanted to create electricity.
Yeah.
So God told him, "Hey, Tom, you have to create electricity." But how did that idea come to him? This is my version, right? So he gets up in the middle of the night. There's no more candles. There's no kerosene. He gets up. Oh no candles again. Oh man! So he gets up and then he goes outside, and he sees all the stars outside. I says, "That's what I want. That's what I want. But I want to with a wall switch. With a wall switch." Well, that's God's desire for Thomas Edison, but that's just one piece. At the same time, you have the enemy. The devil is going after Thomas Edison because he knows that if he's able to discover electricity, we're all going to continue in the caves where we were, right? So
Yeah.
the devil's after him, and he's making him every single test that he does fail, fail. You figure after 100 times, oh, this is not going to work. Give up, right? So the devil wants him to give up. Meantime, God put that desire in him, and when God puts that desire in him, he's gonna give you the strength, the resilience to continue on, to continue on.
Absolutely.
It is your faith in God that says, God, you put this thought of light in my mind. I was fine in the dark, and here you are. You put this in my mind. Now I'm all jazzed up about this thing. I want to bring light to the world because I can also see, us going to the moon and doing all these things, right? But
Yeah.
it, he persistence. The two people, God and the devil. The devil wants you to fail. The devil wants you to live without a purpose. Now, Thomas Edison, he made his chief aim purpose to bring light to the world. And he did not give up. It did take over 10,000
Right.
experiments
Yeah. I
before
remember.
it actually happened. In the same way, God is going to put something that we're supposed to do. Now, mind you, this is really good because any simple thing you can do, you can get just like that, right? How do you know that desire came from God? you know it came from God because it's something huge, something that has not been created. To say, God, you really think I can do this? Now, I have to tell you, I'm going to stop right here for now because that happened to me. That
Tell us your
happened to
story.
me.
Go ahead.
I'm like, God put it in my mind that I'm supposed to be doing a podcast and doing YouTube and this and that. God, I do not even have a microphone. I have never done this. What am I supposed to talk about? And then next thing you know, I had been following Pastor Joel all my life. And to the point that when I couldn't sleep, I used to listen to him all the time just to get that inspiration, just to continue on another day and to just to hear that hope that my life is going to change, that things are going to be better. And I continue with that. And I say, hey, I probably can repeat everything that he has said. Yeah, and sure enough, and this is so powerful. This is so powerful because one of the books that we have read is Think and Grow Rich. Think and Grow Rich. In Think and Grow Rich, what I learned is that I need to learn to master my thoughts. The gateway to my mind. My mind is the sixth sense. The gateway is my thoughts. And it is my job. The thoughts come in here. This is my subconscious. I'm supposed to guard my subconscious mind. My subconscious mind, that's God. That's God. That's the God within me. So if my job is to guard my mind, the gateway to the God within me, I need to accept only the things that go along with God. What goes with God, right? Happiness, right?
Love,
If
happiness.
I can do they can do attitude, right? They can do attitude that it is mine. Love is mine. I'm supposed to be happy. Okay, what is this? How much did you make last year, Pablo? This is I made 100,000. Well, why can't you make $100,000 a month? But Pablo, I couldn't do that. That's the devil talking to me, telling me I can't do that. But God said, God gave me the idea that I can. So now here I am making different revenue streams, and now I'm getting there. God
I
is
love it.
great. God is
You are already there. You don't even know it.
God
You
is
don't even know
awesome.
it.
I didn't know how am I supposed to be doing this YouTube business, and I did not even have an account. I did not even have an account. So far, I have done over 110 videos. I have over 12,000 views. I have close to 200
Go
subscribers.
check him out,
I
guys.
don't have anything.
Awesome.
And this is just at the beginning of the year. It's an example of when God puts an idea in your mind, He makes it flow. Now, I began talking right now. I brought in Think and Grow Rich because you need to master your mind. And then truly, whatever you think, you actually become. And
Who
then
says
whatever
that?
you
Isn't
think,
Dr.
and you
Wayne
say,
Dyer?
when you say any words that come out to your mouth, out of your mouth, you're really prophesying your future. So
And
isn't that a better idea as to why we need to guard our minds? Because we have the power to prophesize our future.
absolutely.
Imagine that. So if you're gonna say something good, right? Like, damn, Pablo, you're looking good, right? Ooh, yes. Do you know that when I was divorced, waiting for Martita, do you know that I got a little dog? I got a little dog because every time I used to look at myself, the little dog used to go, wow, 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 wow.
That
And
was
I
awesome.
loved it. I loved it. I loved it. That's what it's all about. That's what it's
That's
all
cute.
about. Having fun. Keep in mind, God wants you to laugh. The devil wants to see you sad. He wants you boom. So every once in a while, pop a joke. Pop a joke. It scared the devil away. The
Positive
devil,
mental attitude all the way, right?
that's right.
Absolutely. Enthusiasm all the way. Be
The devil
enthused.
has told all the little devils to stay away from Pablo because they're wasting their time with me. So they do not bother me, and I am so focused with everything that I'm doing. I went through the whole thing of forgiveness, looking myself in the mirror, and doing all of that. And then now, I mean, I'm in a constant flow. Once again, I just started this YouTube business in December, and then it was just supposed to be 6 days a week. That's what I gave. I said maybe I'll commit to 6 days. Now I'm doing it 7 days a week, and I'm doing it everything before 8:30 in the morning. I have had clients call me up and say, Pablo, are you still a CPA? Can you still do my taxes?
You know,
And then they said, wow, Pablo, you when you talk, you just like flowing. It's like, wow. It's like, but it's God told me to do this. And the thing is that once repetition, habit. Myself, what did I do? I'm not a speaker, but I do not have one of those certificates or any of those things. But what did I do? I started listening more, reading more of the same books. So certainly the thoughts, everything that I'm doing, I'm reading the Bible, everything. So that's what I'm able to talk about. And now it's all fresh and everything is flowing through is flowing. So by the same token, right? If you have that desire that God has put in your mind, guess what? There's some of the ways that you can make that desire a reality is write it down on a piece of paper. If you don't want to write it down, carry around a piece of paper, make it the home screen on your cell phone. This is my chief aim purpose. Every time you're reading it right there, and next thing you know, you're reading it, just like me. Within 2 months, look at me. Here I am, hundreds of plus videos, and like I said, I believe I'm gonna challenge Joel Osteen at the grandstand, and I'm gonna pass him.
that's right. And just Steve Jobs says you can connect the dots going backwards, but you can't connect them going forward. And if you take a look at your own journey, right, and you look at, you said you studied Joel Osteen when you were young.
Yes.
And so there was a purpose for that. So now I also look at my life the same way. I'm like, oh my goodness, I went from corporate America to education. Why? Because now I'm in that role of educating people at a different level, but I needed to learn that process. I needed to go through that part of the chapter of my life to understand how to understand others. Right?
Yes, and you know something. Part of the manifestation, right? I have done a few things that like blow me away. One of them is when I was waiting for Martita. Martita, she took too long for me. Anyway, so I got the idea that I wanted to travel, and all I did is I just purchased a suitcase and I put it by the door. I put it by the door, and next thing you know, here I was. I was traveling. I was traveling. I began to travel, did everything. After I met Martita, we're living in a 2-bedroom apartment. I start buying furniture for the patio. Not just little benches, not that little table. Big furniture for the patio in an apartment. So I bring up the boxes, and now so I can move around, I need to move around these boxes. 4 months later, I bought the house.
Wow.
Just like that. Now, that happens because I'm with God. Now, I'm going to give you a straight up example as to what happens when you're not with God and when you do not ask Him. You can go so big with God, but failure to ask God to help you will happen what happened to me. Here I am, a big time CPA, and there's a big opportunity to a law passes in New York, whereas anybody that's going to prepare income taxes, they need to have a license. Makes sense to me. And I said, wow, I've been fixing the problems from all these fools all this time. So wow, the market is going to be mine. So I created this huge office. I cashed out of my 401k, boom, created a huge office. Back then, I hired Mayor Bloomberg's chef to do the grand opening, everything. Wow. I went overboard with everything. Wow. The next thing you know, the day before income tax season begun, the people, all these people that unlicensed people, they gathered together and they went to the Supreme Court. And what the Supreme Court decided is that, wait a moment, the tax preparers were never licensed by the New York State Department of Education. So the New York State Department of Education does not have the right to go, to come in here, forcing them down. You need to have a license. The case was overturned. Here's my case. I had the law. A law was passed that was going to make me the king of the income taxes here in New York. I had the cash. I had the license. I was the CPA. I had everything. And I went overboard and I did everything. Huge office, everything. The case is, the law is overturned. And then it came to me, I said, I did this without asking God. Really, from that lesson, I do share this experience with people in my office and let them know, have you asked God before you move forward with this thing? Because if it's from God, it will flow. It will be very easy, and everything will fall into place. If it's not from God, you're gonna have a false starts, if you will. And those false starts is a time for you to just sit back and listen to the small voice inside of you.
Reconnect.
Yes.
That's what I call it.
Yeah, reconnect. That small voice is your subconscious mind. That small voice is the God within you trying to hold you back and say, hey, you have not spoken to me about that. See, when you talk to your subconscious mind, the God within you, you need to go through the whole visualization process, telling God how it is that you want this and how this is going to help other people. What you find in the Bible is that you had King Solomon have the audacity to ask God for all the wisdom, but then he also followed it with this wisdom. I will help all the widows. I will help all these people. Mm-hmm. By the same token, I cannot pinpoint where I got this from, but Andrew Carnegie, he came from Scotland to the United States. He was working on the mills. He did not finish high school. And he asked God to make him a multi-billionaire. And he promised God that he was going to spend the rest of his life giving away the money.
Yeah.
So he's someone that immigrated to the United States, and he went on to create Carnegie Steel. And then Carnegie Steel was sold to United Steel, which is a public entity here, still going big here in the United States. What Mr. Carnegie did is he wanted to give everyone an opportunity to become everything that they can be. So what he did is he created the New York Public Library. If anybody has been in New York, you see how huge the public library is. It's a whole block. It's one of the biggest blocks in New York. And he gave it away. He said the only condition is that it would be for free for anybody that comes in, because he wanted everyone to have the opportunity to educate themselves by reading, because that's the way he did it.
Right.
Then he went on to create an additional 3,400 libraries throughout the world. Now, when he did this, and then think about it, it's 1800. There's just carriage and buggies back then. Mm-hmm. And then now he wanted to bring culture to the United States, and he created the Metropolitan Museum of Art. And then he created the Carnegie Hall, where he used to bring the best of the best. That's what he did. And then on top of that, he gave away all of his money the way that he said he told God that he was going to do. So the idea is you can have a real big dream, but it has to go hand in hand with what it is that you're going to do, how it is that you're going to help other people. And you will see how that's going to...
You'll be guided. You will be guided.
Completely.
I love that. Let's take a quick break, and we'll come right back. And we're going to talk about the thoughts, right? The thoughts that come into our mind. It's very important to understand how to really protect our mind with those negative thoughts that really get in the way of our success. So we'll be right back.
Now, the vast majority, approximately 95% of the people of all countries, go around and around without aim or purpose. They drift with the circumstances of life, good or bad.
A drifter is one who permits himself to be influenced and controlled by circumstances outside of his own mind.
Whereas the successful individuals create their own circumstances and ride them to victory.
When you're on purpose, you're living on purpose. You will never quit if you have a real purpose.
A burning desire to be and to do is the starting point from which the dreamer must take off. But what I have done has been recorded, it's been tested, it's being taken to a free world, and it's going to benefit millions of people who are not yet born.
And it's going to benefit millions of people who are not yet born. We're some of those people that we're spreading this to the world. As your awareness grows, the doubt is gone so that you can manifest whatever it is your heart desires. Isn't that beautiful?
Here we go. We go back to desire, right? When we have desires to achieve things, it all begins with a thought. And where there is faith, you give life and power to the thought, to that desire. There's no doubt because the belief is strong. Let's get into that, Pablo.
Yeah, no, when I think about just the power of a thought, just think about the chair, the chair that you're sitting on right now. Somebody thought about it, and there it is.
First,
think about our glasses.
Wow.
Right? There was a thought, and here they are. Now think about the guy that invented those glasses, right? He's a multi-billionaire.
Yeah, of course. But everything.
A thought is anything, and like I said, the more, the bigger the thought, the dream that you have, that's how you know that thought came from God, because it does not exist yet. Okay, and your faith, having the strong desire, is what will help you make it a reality.
It will take you to that first step that you need to create that vision of making your desire a reality, right? It's all you need to do is take one step and believe that that desire is yours. Once you have that strong belief, and this is where, when we talk about believing and your beliefs, I know without a doubt there is beliefs that we have that disempower us, that just take us down the path of fear, doubt, worry, self-negative talk, that takes that desire and says, nah, I can't do that. I mean, like you mentioned about your podcast, right? In January, you had this thought, and your faith was so strong in listening to that little voice. Like, even though you're not a professional, trust me, I'm nowhere near Oprah Winfrey right now, right? But I am doing this podcast the best I could because I know what we're bringing out to the audience and to the people watching here right now is that we're bringing out information to empower you. Because we're here to achieve goals that will take us to the next level. We're not here to suffer and get sick and have worries and doubt and fear. Why do we have all this? It's because we, and this is my own belief, we lost our disconnection to the Creator. We're not putting God into our equation anymore because there's so much noise outside of us that leads us down to the path of saying, I can't do this, or, that person can, but I can't. And the truth of the matter is, you can do anything you put your mind to. You must believe first. It's about believing, then you're going to achieve it. You can't say, "Oh, I'm going to achieve it first, and then oh, I believe it when somebody else does it." No, the belief has to come from you, and this is the inner work that needs to be done, and we need to transform the belief system to more empowering beliefs. In the subconscious mind, not consciously, but subconsciously, because this is the driver of our life. The subconscious mind drives your life. If you take a look at what you do every day, I promise you 95% of what you do every day is the same. And until you get out of your comfort zone and face the fears and the worries and the doubts and say, I can do this, this is meant for me, and go after your goal and your passion, nothing's going to change. And time is ticking. Your life is passing by you. And the next thing you know, you're 30, you're 40, you're 50, you're 60, and you're 70, and you're like, what did I do with my life? And you look back and what is it? Dr. Wayne Dyer says, don't die with your music still in you. Play your music. Let the world hear your voice, right? That's enough of me speech, having my speech here, but I'm sure my audience gets the message. But let's talk about the subconscious mind, the thoughts that come into our mind, and the negative thoughts and the positive thoughts, and how can we navigate that? Because sometimes we can't shut this off, and some people lead to drinking to shut it off. Some people really go down a path that is the wrong path. So how can we help the audience reconnect to the thoughts that they really want, that empower them versus disempower them?
I think that the first way you do it is by realizing the fact that you have control of your thoughts, and whatever your thoughts have been, whatever you have been doing has gotten you where you're at right now. Where you're at right now, you're a result of your thoughts and your actions.
Totally.
So if you don't like what you see, or if you like what you see but you want to double that, then you need to work on that. Okay. Now, the way that I challenge people to do this is right now you're writing your own movie. So think about the big screen in your life, right? Your movie has ended. It's right there. Now you're so proud of your movie, right? What is that going to show? It is you, your family, in front of the Panther Rosa, and everything else right there, all your properties. You have your kids, they're all grown up doing what you wanted them to do, if you will, right? So, but then the thing is that that's the final show. That's when you have died. That's what people are going to say about you.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? So my idea is for you to incorporate what you want people to say about you, what you want to accomplish into your daily life. Make those things into goals. Make those into goals, and then write out a plan as to how it is that you plan to reach there. If you want to be like someone like myself, I want to be like Pastor Joel. What did I do? I'm mimicking him right now, right? If anything, like I said, I start off my show by saying, hey, Joel Osteen is my mentor. He doesn't even know it. Choose the person who you want to be. Imitate that person. That's what I'm doing, right? He doesn't speak Spanish, so I'm really helping him in a big way. now he has a Spanish market. So, but what Gigi's saying is, how do we control our thoughts? How do we keep them going now? And she's actually invited me to talk a little bit about the subconscious mind. What I have found out is that there's two pathways into your subconscious mind. One is through praying, and another one is while you're sleeping. That's the only way to get to your subconscious mind. Now, praying, people have given it different names. Different names include autosuggestions, right? But the thing is that right now, as you pointed out, Gigi, 95% of the people, they have not been with God, and they have really lost track. They
see God outside of them, right? They see the higher person outside of them. And the truth of the matter is, God is right in our hearts. He's right in our hearts. And if we can connect to that, we feel more empowered to do things. And, that's
And
my
the
own
best
story.
way to connect is really through prayer. So,
Mhm.
see, what I do, I have dedicated 15 minutes a day to do the praying, which is something that I do anyway. But now I decided to do it all in YouTube. Okay, and I have had some great responses, but one I'm going to share with you is I had a gentleman that I'm very busy. It's income tax season right now, so I had a gentleman waiting outside for 3 hours to see me. Then when he came in, he began to cry. He said that my words help him. He said that what it was just what he needed to hear. It's one of those moments in time that you want to hear something, you want to hear something positive, you want to get some hope. It says that I gave him that, and it was not just one person. So now I'm taking this and I'm saying this is really my mission. This is what I need to do.
Mhm. Mhm.
Eh, I could not understand waiting 3 hours to come in here and to tell me this, to share that with me. Eh, so I feel that I am making a difference.
You're on the right path. That's why he was there for 3 hours. You're on the right path, and you've listened to that little voice that says it's time for you to do what you've been called to do, is help other people who really need you, right? But you can't help other people if you don't help yourself first. That cleansing process that you mentioned before, Pablo, you went through it, I went through it. There is no way that we can extend ourselves, love others, show others the way, the right way, the only way, unless we went through it ourselves. And now God is saying, you're going to do this so you can help others. And that was a validation for you. Like, keep going. No matter what you're doing great.
What happens is by just spending those 15 minutes a day with everyone, I'm I'm telling people that just because you're doing this with me, you're listening to me right now. When God needs someone to do Him a favor, if you will, a desire, He's going to come knocking on you because you're listening to Him. He's not going to go to the other guy over there because he's not going to. You can tell him, "Hey, go, come out, do this." He's not going to do it. He's going to come to you because you're spending those 15 minutes with Him and you're listening to Him. Yeah, that's what praying is all about. Praying is a pathway to your subconscious mind. And now, what Reverend Ike says is that he says your subconscious mind is the believer. Whatever you can impress upon the subconscious mind, the subconscious mind will go into work, and a visualization it becomes the bridge to God.
Absolutely.
And if you come to an agreement with Him, before you know it, whatever dream you had becomes a reality. And when you see it, when you have it in your hands, you're going to see that it's so much better than what you thought it was going to be, without what you thought about that. The example that you had, it was just really a beta version. He has the version 2030 or 3040 for you. It's the most amazing thing in the world. The most amazing thing in the world, and that's what eh, that's what God wants to do. He wants to use you in this world to grant you that desire of your heart, so that you can get on top of the Empire State Building, on top of that mountain, and yell out loud how great God is and how He made this happen to you. How
So
He
beautiful.
wants that to do for everyone because He wants to use us as examples that He is right here. He's right here with us. He's right here with us. Okay.
Absolutely. And what just comes to mind now is we're so busy. We're so busy doing so much, doing. And prayer is about being silence, giving gratitude, listening to that little voice for direction, being content, being happy. We don't spend enough time doing that. And that is why I know for me, I hit a lot of, you know, hard difficulty times because I was just too busy doing. I was too busy looking at everybody else. I was too busy going to school and trying to get the next degree and that next certification. Well, you know what? I received that wake-up call that said, it's time for change. It's time for you to know that you don't have to do everything by yourself. I'm here. I created you. What makes you think you're all alone in this world? You're never alone. But are you ready to receive that message? Are you ready to open your heart? Because that is when life begins to change. That's when it began to change for me, is when I said, okay, I'm letting go and I'm letting God. And I am at peace. The inner peace that I have within me has opened up doors that I couldn't even imagine doing it on my own. Like this show, exactly this show, right? This is about letting go and letting God taking me where He wants me to be and following my desires of having a happy life and helping others to achieve the same. And it all starts with believing in yourself, having faith, and changing your belief system and empowering yourself.
Now, one of the key things with faith right here, right? We're saying faith is a prayer, right? But the way God likes says, just ask Him one time. He heard you. Okay? Don't ask Him for the same thing again and again. Don't do that. He heard you the first time, okay? Second, what really gets to God is your gratitude. Your gratitude. Imagine you're thanking God, right? And it's like, look at Pablo. He's already thanking me because he has 10,000 subscribers and he has 1 million views. Look at Pablo. He doesn't even own a microphone.
But that's beautiful because what you're saying right now is it's not about asking. It's about giving gratitude that you already received it. Because God says, why wouldn't I want to give it to you?
That's what faith is all about. Gratitude before you receive it.
Beautiful. Yeah.
Neville Gradner, he says, we have to assume that you have already received it. You have to feel it. You have to live like you have it. I have the love of my life right here.
That's right. I have that perfect job. Thank you, God, for that perfect job.
That's right. It's like you did not get that job. Okay, I know God has something better planned for me. It's about seeing the positive things in every single step in your life, really. But I'm really looking forward to what you're going to announce in a moment.
Yeah.
It's going to give us the gateway to actually go into detail as to talk a little more about faith.
Yes. And we're working on, should I say it?
Yes.
So Pablo has been one of my favorite guests on the show. And I really think that I know that he brings such wealth of wisdom and information, and he's impacting many already since January. So I have invited him to, him and I will be hosting a new show called Living in Faith. It will be, I'm not certain exactly what day. I don't know if it's still available, but probably Tuesday nights at 7 p.m. But we will announce that definite. But we're going to have a weekly show where we're going to not only do it in English, but he's also going to translate it in Spanish so that we can really reach a larger audience and everyone can hear his beautiful voice and his words of wisdom and what he brings to us to help us really all have better lives, because it's all about that. It's living your best life and knowing and applying what you already knew all along, except there's so much noise out there that we forget to reconnect to God and let God be part of our life. So I'm so excited for that. Pablo, I'm looking forward to it because I know you've made a big difference in my life. Just hearing you and sharing your passion for this work, right? And we feel so rewarded just to share what we have. It's like we're in another world, just being in this role of sharing information to help people realize that you're so powerful. You don't even know it. You have everything you need to take you to better health, better living, and just knowing that life has so much to offer. But we need to step into our greatness. And how do we do that? And it's just by learning, by continuing to learn. Education never ends. For any one of us, we always need to learn. If it's ending, then you're not living life to the fullest. That's how I see it.
Well, no, yeah, I think in the show, what we might end up doing is talking about faith from different perspectives.
Yes.
One of them would be Dr. Joseph Murphy, Dr. Charles Stanley, St. Joel Osteen. We can talk about what each one of those masters of faith, if you will, have said, that we can discuss how I have applied it, how I read it, how I interpret it. And the idea here is that myself, I'm just Pablo Sanchez. I'm a United States Marine, and here I am sharing my experiences and how living in faith with God has helped me to transform myself. I share with you that how, although I was living in faith and with God, I failed to ask God for His input to see if this is what He wanted me to do. And you saw what I now told you what happened to me.
Yeah.
Same token, I can say that I have asked God, I have invited Him to be in my life, and all these wonderful things are happening. I'm happily married, and my job, my clientele is going crazy. I'm in high demand.
especially now, right?
Especially now, yes, during income tax season, doing 7 days a week.
Yeah. No, I just love, the more we study, the more we understand, right? And it's just about understanding how to navigate life in with all the noise going on, and to really trust ourselves, believe in ourselves, that we can achieve, right? What is anything we want? You must believe, conceive it, whatever you conceive, whatever the mind can conceive and believe, it will achieve no matter what. And this is what we're here to teach. You can.
And
The only one that
another way of saying it is, whatever the mind can conceive, can believe. That's what it's saying, is that your subconscious mind is the believer. As the believer, the subconscious mind can only accept anything that you tell it, right? It doesn't know whether it's something that you want, if something's reality, but that's what it does. It just accepts. It cannot reject anything. But what we have right here and what we're going to be discussing is the actual cleansing process that we have to do. Because if you think about our subconscious mind right now, having all this malware in that software that it is in our mind, then we have to go a deep cleanse, and we have to put new programming in there. And the new programming, that's where the auto suggestions come in. Okay,
Yes.
that's the new programming. All the positive things that we're saying about ourselves. Don't forget, you have to laugh. You have to get yourself that little dog, right? Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Get that little dog. It says, how do I look? Wow, 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 wow. Get that little dog. Laugh as often as you can. Laugh as
That's
often
right.
as you can. You'll keep the devil away. Laughter is the cure for everything. We can talk about, once again, your mind, your subconscious mind is so powerful. It can heal you. But the first time, before you can heal, you need to go through the whole forgiveness process. You really need to go
Absolutely.
through the whole forgiveness process. Once you let that weight off, you feel so good. Uh, I challenge you to lay all your troubles on at God's feet. Put all your troubles there, and you will see how how your mind will clear, and you will start living on purpose. Now, by living on purpose, you need to think. I'm often going to talk about the movie, and the end of the movie. What do you want that the screen to be? Yeah, right. The one that everybody's going to go see. What do you want it to be there? That's yourself already accomplished. But before you get there, there's all the steps, all the streams that you want to do. So all those things, you have to put them down, and you have to set up a plan as how you're going to get there. So you're going to tackle those things one at a time. You're going to read them. You're going to read them, and then you're going to create plans as to how it is that you're going to reach them. And that's where all the suggestions comes in. Because right now, your old software the old software say, no, you can't do this, you can't do that. So you have
to close.
Fill it up with a can-do attitude. Yes, I can. Yes, I
what
can.
Is Henry Ford says, if you think you can or if you think you can't, you're right. So we're going to take it to a landing. Everyone, if you'd like to join us, I have a Facebook group called Sparking Change for Success. We're going to put these videos in there. We're also going to come in there and definitely share some more stories. And final words real quick, Pablo, what would you like to say?
If you're lacking faith, it's really because you really need to go through the process of the cleansing process. You have faith, but the same faith that you have had has kept you where you're at right now. Give us a chance.
Yeah.
You will see how that what we're going to teach you will help you break those barriers. And then we're going to help you create your goals so that going forward, you can live towards those goals. Once you start living on purpose, living on purpose now, your faith is going to increase. Because when you live on purpose, you're going to see yourself getting closer and closer to reaching that goal. And next thing you know, you says, I reached this goal. Then you're going to come up with another one and another one.
So beautiful.
You're going to say, now I have faith, not in Pablo's system, but Jesus.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you, Pablo. And remember, where there's faith, there's no doubt, worry, or fear. So with this, we're coming to an end. And I want to say thank you. I'm your host, Giovanna Tarderone, Sparking Change with Gigi. And we'll see you next week. Take care. Thank you, Pablo, for coming.
Thank you, Gigi. Thank you, sir. Thanks, everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you for joining me on Sparking Change with Gigi. I hope that our episode today has ignited a spark within you to create positive change in your own life and in the world around you. To learn more about how you can become a guest or supporter, head over to sparkingchangenow.com. If you enjoyed today's episode, please consider subscribing, sharing, and leaving a review. Your feedback is incredibly valuable to me, and it helps me to continue producing content that sparks change in each of us and the world. You can find us on various platforms, including Google Play Store, Apple App Store, YouTube, Facebook, Roku, Android TV, Apple TV, and Amazon Fire. Thank you again for watching, and I look forward to having you join me again next week on Sparking Change with Gigi.